lot of the dishes I cook, they start with onions and garlic. But for anybody out there with a sensitive stomach, it can cause bloating or it can cause some discomfort. Today, we have a new product. I can't wait to get cooking with it. It's the organic tomato basil, the Sensitivo.
Tomato, basil, this is an organic certified product. No onions, no garlic, but our family tradition, there's no compromising in taste. Dev, what are we rocking in the kitchen today?
Shakshuka is a dish where eggs are poached in a tomato sauce. It traditionally has a lot of onions and garlic and bold and heavy spices. Today, Alex, I want to offer a lighter rendition on it using our new Sensitivo, and this is how we get started. First step for this shakshuka recipe is to break down some celery. I'm gonna slice it here, and I wanna get fine pieces of it so that it all kind of mixes in with the sauce. It'll make for a really nice bite instead of having big chunks of vegetables. But at home, please feel free to do it however you like. So we slice up our celery, and I'm gonna slice the wider pieces into smaller bâtonnets or sticks. That way it becomes really nice and fine. So once our celery is broken down like this, I turn it in the other direction, and I'm gonna go across. So this is a julienne, and we're gonna go into a fine, fine, fine dice. And we can see how thin that is there, okay? So this way, it's really gonna mix itself in well to the sauce. So once our celery is just about chopped, we're gonna add some carrot. In the Sensitivo sauce, it also has carrot, so I thought it'd be a nice compliment to use it here. So celery can now go into our bowl. I'm gonna carefully pick it up and transfer it into this vessel here on my left. And then we can start processing our carrot. That's the next ingredient that we're going to do here. So over this direction, this is what I'm going to be using, is this carrot. I don't ever want to peel right onto my cutting board, so I'm going to place a bowl here and try to get most of the peel into there, because we want to work very neat and clean when we are at home. You could probably use a larger bowl as well. So I'm just going to remove the peel. If you wanted to leave the peel on, please feel free. Depending on the recipe, I would do the same. You don't have to remove it. All you have to make sure is that the skin is really well cleaned. You can even keep a dish scrubby, something that you'd have in the sink. Keep one just for cleaning vegetables. I have one at home, but in this case, I peeled it. From here, I'm gonna remove the stem, and that's what our waste looks like there. And what I'm gonna do is break this down into a couple different pieces, and I wanna get, just like the celery, a really fine dice. First step, what I'm gonna do is make a slice here, and now this rests flat, and I can come and make a few more slices. I'm gonna stack these to one side. Again, do the same thing, give myself a flat edge. I'm gonna come across and slice, and with our last piece here, I'm just going to do the same thing, give myself a flat edge. And now I have all my pieces ready to be processed. So from here, what I want to do is take these and slice across and give myself a really fine julienne, which is here. The carrot is going to add a really nice sweetness, and it's also a nice fresh raw ingredient that we're adding into this dish. It's going to boost the nutrition and really play off the flavor of carrot that's already in the sauce. Once we have our carrots here in a nice neat pile, it's time to break it down even further. So again, I want all these ingredients to come together with the Sensitivo, and it's going to be delicious. So from here, our bâtonnets, I go across, and I'm now going to get a really fine dice on the carrot. Carrot can get added right into the celery. And while I'm doing this over here, I'm gonna preheat my pan on a low heat. I'm using a cast iron for this dish, but if you wanted to use another vessel at home, you could. I would suggest using a heavy bottomed pan. That would be the best thing. Nice heavy cast iron is gonna work very well with this dish. Now I'm just gonna break down the rest of my carrot. Sicilian extra virgin olive oil. Smells like top shelf quality. So a good few glugs goes into my pan. Of course, with extra virgin olive oil, I don't want to be heating this up very, very hot. So I'm gonna be at a low, medium temperature. My pan's already preheated, so as I cascade the oil around, I can start coming in with some of our ingredients, and we'll hear that sizzle. You wanna hear that noise when the product goes in. We don't wanna steam these vegetables. We wanna get a really nice color on them, okay? So move this around here. And that will be enough. Next thing I wanna break down is a red pepper while this slowly cooks beside me. I'm also using Longo's coarse sea salt today that I put into a grinder, and I'm just gonna sprinkle that over the top. This will help bring out some of the moisture in these vegetables. So now we're gonna break down our red pepper. The top and the bottom, I'm gonna keep and use that for another application, maybe a salad. And then I'm gonna slice down on our pepper here and remove the inside core really simply into my scrap bowl. And I'm just gonna use this much today because it's a very large pepper. So I'm gonna remove some of this membrane that's here, just like that. And then I'm gonna do the same thing and repeat the process. When we're cooking in the kitchen, we wanna multitask and have a few things going at once. So keep an eye on everything that's going. And I'm gonna go across and julienne, and then I'm gonna come across again and do our fine brunoise. A shakshuka is a dish that I can remember eating as a kid. One of the best things about it is that it's made oftentimes with ingredients that you have at home. So eggs and tomato sauce, and then from there, you can be a little bit creative with the spices, different aromatics and seasonings that you use. So a shakshuka is an amazing way to get a nutritious, healthy, fun, simple meal. It takes a little bit of technique, but we're gonna work through that together. So the last bit of red pepper is here. And again, I'm adding these so we can have a really nice flavor in our shakshuka. Next up, we have two of my favorite spices in the world. We're gonna be using cumin, which has been previously roasted. And then I have smoked paprika. Not gonna use a lot, but it's gonna add a lot of flavor. With both of these bold spices, a little bit goes a long way. And I remember eating these all throughout my childhood. These scents, smells, aromatics are things that brought me into the kitchen. So in with our smoked paprika. And next I'm gonna add in our cumin. Cumin goes in, and this is gonna add a lot of flavor and a lot of depth to this exciting shakshuka recipe that we are making today. We're now gonna give this a stir, and immediately this entire kitchen is now engulfed in this amazing aroma. It smells so good in here, I can't tell you. And for me, this is also an interesting thing. I would always start this recipe off with onions and garlic, but today, not gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be using our Sensitivo sauce, which is right here. And this is for anybody out there who has a sensitive stomach, or maybe they don't want these big, bold flavors. I'm always a chef who loves cooking with big, big flavor, bold, spicy, aggressive flavor. Today, I'm gonna offer a lighter version of this dish. And it's coming together amazing right now. It's coming together really, really well. So we let these spices cook out for just a few moments, and then we're gonna introduce the star of the show soon. I can see the carrot is starting to get a little bit golden brown, so we're getting that inherent sweetness out of it. The red pepper is now cooked, and I don't want to cook this till it's all kind of mushy, mashy. I want it to have a little bit of texture. So we're gonna come in with our sauce right now. So I'm gonna pop it, always listen for that, and then we're gonna come and pour this right into the pan. It's always a good idea to get a little bit of water in here and shake it up, and I'm gonna do that, but first, more Sensitivo. Let's get it in there. I'm using a large pan, 5 eggs. Alex and I were big eaters, so we wanna have a lot of food today. So another jar goes into the mix, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of water in here. So into both jars, I can add a splash of water. The dish needs it anyways. If it's too thick, it's gonna be pitching up everywhere. So what I'm gonna do is just put the lid on, give it a shake quickly, and now we'll be able to get out every last bit of goodness that's in that jar. And we're gonna be able to thin out this sauce a little bit too. Just give it a quick shake, and then into our vessel. Now that I've introduced this tomato sauce, I wanna add a little bit of the seasoning. So we're gonna come in with just a little bit of our salt. And now what I wanna do is let this rest for a few minutes. I want this to cook for a few moments. So all these ingredients, the carrot, the celery, the pepper, everything gets some time to marry and become one. I want all these flavors to infuse. It smells amazing. It smells intoxicating in the best way possible. I can see the extra virgin olive oil. I can see all the little bits of the vegetable, and cumin and paprika is in the air. So bring this up to a simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes and we'll check back. After about 10 to 15 minutes, this shakshuka is starting to take on life. We have all these ingredients marrying together. I'm gonna add in a little bit of sugar, but not much there. We have a lot of the sweetness coming from the carrot, the vegetables that we've added in there. Next, what I wanna do is add in a good handful of spinach, and that looks like just about right. And I don't wanna add this in too early. I still want it to be nice and bright green, but this is gonna add a really nice flavor. It's also gonna boost the nutritional value of this dish. And because I love it so much, I'm gonna go in and add even more. So we're gonna add in all that spinach into the mix now. We're really close to adding our eggs. In just a few more moments, I want this to thicken up just a little bit more. We're gonna get those eggs in this for one of the most memorable shakshukas you've ever seen. At this stage, right before I add in our eggs, I have fresh basil. Gotta love the smell of fresh basil. It's gonna work perfectly with our Sensitivo sauce. So in goes the basil, and I'm not gonna slice it, I'm just gonna simply tear it and add it into our vessel. That way you get nice bites of it, but it's gonna retain some of its integrity, and it's gonna give a lot of flavor by adding it at this stage in the party. So after our basil goes in, I'm at a very low simmer, and I'm gonna stir this in. The sauce has now thickened up. Look at this amazing consistency. So now what I can do is create little divots in the sauce. So I'm gonna make a little divot here using the back of the spoon, and it's in that spot. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add our egg. So one egg is gonna go here. Create a little bit of a divot here, and then crack your egg, and crack it right into that spot. Our shakshuka is simmering away. I said 5 eggs, I added 6. I'm gonna take a little bit of salt and season the top of each egg, just so everything is nice and seasoned. I also have some fresh cracked black pepper. Just gonna put a little bit of that on top of each egg. Now, depending on how runny you want your eggs, that's how long you're gonna go ahead and cover it for. You can use a lid. Today, I'm just gonna use a pan to cover it like this. And I'm gonna cover it for 5 minutes so we can cook the top of the egg, but I still want the egg yolk runny. I recommend between 5 to 8 minutes, but after you make this recipe once, you'll know exactly how long you want it to cover for. While this is going, steaming, simmering away, I'm gonna take some gluten-free bread and I'm gonna put this into the toaster, and this is gonna be what we're gonna eat this lovely shakshuka with. Our shakshuka has been cooking for about 6-7 minutes or so. I just took off the heat, and time for our big reveal. It looks amazing, but more than anything, it smells mouth-wateringly good. Mouth-wateringly, new word. So if we look here, we can see that the white has set on top and the sauce has thickened around. This is one of the reasons why I didn't want to make it too thin to start off with, because it has now gotten thicker. This looks amazing. What I want to do is make some toast to go along with this. So I've toasted our gluten-free toast. I have some parsley here. What I'm gonna do is scrunch it up in my fingers, and as I go across, we'll get a really fine slice on the parsley. go across and I'm gonna make a parsley butter to go on this toast for more flavor and of course, more color, more texture, all that good stuff. Here I have some room temperature butter. To that, I'm gonna add some parsley. And here we have a yummy parsley butter to spread on top of our toast. So I'm just gonna do it on the one side. Make sure you get really nice coverage on it. And this is nice and toasty. This is gonna be great with our shakshuka. With a little bit of parsley that we have left from our beautiful parsley toast there, I'm just gonna sprinkle some of that on to our lovely dish. I really wanna garnish this and make it really pretty because we always eat with our eyes first. So let's take an avocado and I'm gonna slice the avocado in half. And then here, just wanna line those two up and I can open this. Now what I do with the avocado, peel goes in, twist, and you can use your thumb to discard the seed. What I want to do now is remove the avocado and I'm going to use it as a garnish. So to do that, I'm just going to take a spoon and slide it along the skin to remove the avocado. So I'm just going to use half for now. And now I want to show you how to garnish the shakshuka to make it the most beautiful dish you've ever seen. I'm going to go across and make some slices. And then I fan those slices out. And then we can transfer this to our shakshuka, nice and fanned out. So do that again. Do 3 pieces. And I can fan them out gently. And this is gonna make it really stand out and look really awesome. Now that we have the avocado on top, I'm gonna take a couple of our tomatoes and slice them into 4 pieces vertically. It's gonna look really nice on top. It's also like reinforcing that fresh tomato flavor that's in there. So these go on top and they're gonna be nice bursts of tomato when we go to eat into them. I really have to impress Alex there. We worked very hard on this sauce and I need to make a dish that we can both be very proud of. So tomatoes, some are flipped upside down, some are like that. Next, what I want to do is add in some feta. This is totally optional. If you didn't want to use feta, you could simply omit it, but I just love the flavor that it adds. It's also going to add really nice color. So I'm just going to sprinkle these little cubes all around. And I don't want to cover up the eggs per se. We want to take a good look at those. But this is going to be so tasty. It's already looking like a lot of fun. And that looks like just the right amount. The last garnish, we have our beautiful smoked paprika. So a little bit of that goes on top, not much, but just to color everything. And this is our finished dish. This is our organic tomato basil sensitivo. My mouth's watering while I talk to you. This is our newest product. I'm pretty sure this is gonna impress Alex, but we gotta bring him in here to try this. So that's what I'm gonna do. Alex, where is he? The last step before Alex tries this dish, gotta break out again the Sicilian extra virgin olive oil. Give that a nice sheen and drizzle, more flavor, more color, more quality going on top. I wanna give it a quick taste, so just on the side here. So much flavor, so much depth. It's so round, it's balanced really well.
Can I stop you for a second? I've been waiting to eat this. And like you just keep talking about it. I think it's my turn now, right?
Alex, I gotta be honest though, it is your turn, but it's really hard to tell that there's no onions or garlic because it tastes like so much flavor. And this is actually an eye-opening experience for me because I use onions and garlic, like the backbone of my recipes, to build flavor. So it's good to know that there's no compromises in our sensitivo. So I'm gonna take a piece of bread here. We're doing rustic, right? You tear it. I'm just gonna keep talking so you get really hungry. I'm gonna go into the middle. Look how that sauce holds. And I'm gonna place that on top. Also gonna get a piece of this egg. Really nice, gorgeous yellow yolk on the inside. And we can take a couple pieces of feta and our tomato. And this is for you to try. Look at the consistency that we have. Nothing is burnt here. It's just gorgeous looking.
This is gonna get messy, but...
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is a home-cooked comfort food.
I'm going right in.
Yeah, go for it, bro.
Right in.
Go for it. And we'll taste that paprika and the olive oil and the avocado and the feta and our...
Oh my. Wow, man.
It's tasty, right?
Holy. I'm not gonna say the other word that was about to come out, but this is delicious. Wow. Fire, brother.
So
Absolutely.
we really hope everybody watching you enjoyed this recipe. This has been a learning experience for me. I now know that I can build amazing flavors without resorting to some of the fundamental ingredients that I've been using. If you out there need more information, check the caption. We're both available on social media to reach out, and you can always talk to us about anything. But I think ultimately the message we want to send is we are here to provide quality products, and this is another one that we're adding to our roster.
It is.
Much love.